Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to this very special edition of the Mustang Owners Podcast. And as you can see behind me, we're not in the Zoom studio. We're not even at Mustang Owners Podcast headquarters in my own home. We are in no place better than the Mustang Owners Museum here in Concord, North Carolina, to celebrate National Mustang Day, April 17th, 2026. If you're going to celebrate National Mustang Day, where better place than the museum that caused all this, the one that started it all. Last night we had a great banquet. Bud Magaldi was there giving his presentation, entered the hall. John Force was entered into the hall, very cool. And of course we had Brad Bowling, fellow journalist, well known for his Bullitt exploits. And then finally Steve Hall, the guy who founded all this, got his due by being in his own Hall of Fame. And man, was that well, there wasn't a dry eye in the place, but man, was it well deserved. So what we want to do today is we want to walk the show here and show you some of the great cars that have assembled for National Mustang Day, just to give you a little taste of what you could find here, of other surprises and other little special treats down the road. People you meet here and you will talk to and see here will be on future episodes of the Mustang Owners Podcast. So I know it's time to have that guy quit talking and let's go looking at some Mustangs. Let's go. And we're walking up and down. Some people need a little extra time, and that's because maybe, you know, it's just nice to say hi and talk about a car, but when we talk about a car that you win from Ford Motor Company, and if you know anything about the Mustang 50 Fever Sweepstakes, we have here the latest winner of the Mustang 50 Sweepstakes. Austin, tell us about that whole experience, and were you part of this experience?
I was kind of part of the whole experience.
Yeah, you told them, don't enter that, nobody wins those
She
things.
made fun of me.
Yeah, nobody wins those contests at Ford, but luckily when you were here, was it in Charlotte when you were at the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Yes, it was in Charlotte.
And you wanted to go do things, and here Austin is out there, let me just enter this.
Yep.
And Austin, just on a whim, and you forgot about it.
Yeah, we were walking up to it was the driving experience, and they had a clay model of the Mustang GT, the S650 there, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I just spotted this little kiosk off to the side and said, sign up to win a free Mustang. No, and everyone was kind of walking past it. There was like a crowd of people. I think it's because they were right next to the track. Everyone was excited to get in. There was the next line was moving forward and whatnot. And I was like, well, you know, I'm sure plenty of people walk past this every day. I'm not going to walk past it. I was like, I do marketing emails, all that stuff. Like, I know that there's some legitimacy to it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sign up. And she had given me a little bit of crap about it. She said, you're not going to win that, whatever. And I was there with a friend. He was his only time in town. We were hanging out with them. They were off doing their own thing at the moment anyways. They were, I think, looking at the simulator. And, so I signed up. I was like, oh, that was easy. It took like a total of 45 seconds, I want to say. I answered a couple questions and got a confirmation email, saw a couple marketing emails, and I forgot about it maybe 2 weeks later.
The cool thing about Austin is that, so a lot of people, they start with Subies or VWs, they get into Beamers, and you know that's the story for them. But graduating up to a Mustang is this is a whole different car. But the fact that this guy, it was, you know, in the car club and community, he hung around with people, and you know, when you hang out, you know that there's some super performance in this little vehicle, and the fact that, hey, you know, I'll take a shot at this Mustang, and I have to admit, you two in this car, you got to be getting some thumbs up.
Oh yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah. And I mean, I owned a Volkswagen once, but it was a Beetle, so I got no thumbs up. A bunch of hippies followed me around. but I got to tell you, Austin, so when we talked about this car, you spec'd it out so wickedly cool. I mean, the copper wheels are freaking awesome. How is the Coyote to live with every day?
It is loud, that's for sure. My neighbor has one though, so my other neighbors are already used to it, thankfully. So we haven't gotten any cop called on us yet. HOA hasn't gotten on us either, because our next door neighbor has a straight piped Coyote S550, so that is very loud on startups too. Yeah, I mean, driving with it, I mean, it's easy to drive. Wish gas prices are a little lower right now with the V8, but
I get it. But you are, I mean, this is rarefied air, but just to prove to everyone, you know, if you're into cars and say, you know, maybe I could be the guy. Austin was the guy, and even though you got a little bit teasing on it, and you know, it's really fair of you because thousands of people entered that sweepstakes. But the fact that, you know, you entered it, a lot of kids say, well, you know, I'm trying to get an apartment, I'll sell the car, I won't keep the car. But the fact, this proves this guy's a car guy. He's going to live with the Coyote a little bit and understand what makes passion happen at Mustang is this, the community around it. Oh, yeah. So we're going to have to hook you up with a little swag today. Okay. We're going to make sure that you're happy, and then you stay in touch with us. and we'll get you on the podcast to tell this whole story. We still love you, but we understand that this is what our women are supposed to do, keep us in check.
It makes fun of us when we sign up.
Oh
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
free car.
And now
They eat their words.
yeah, yeah. But now the check, you can drive it. You know, and you know, unlike some cars that come and go, this is 62 years of forever been cool, and you guys will forever be cool for being a 5-0 Fever winner. Thanks for spending some time with us, and look forward to seeing these guys. We'll get you both on the Mustang Owners Podcast, and an episode coming soon. In the meantime, let's go rock some swag for you, okay?
All right.
Thanks
sounds
again,
like a
guys.
plan.
Thank you. Carrie, we understand you're new to the hobby.
Not so new to the hobby. I've been drawing Mustangs, wishing Santa would drop one off in my chimney since I was a little girl, and I finally got my 2 dream Mustangs, and I plan on getting one of every generation, quite frankly.
Oh my God. So the cool thing about this, not only does she own one of my favorite Cobras, she's got a 64 and a half. How many 30-year-old ladies do you know has a 64 and a half? How did you get that thing?
A dream car, really. So I had a 96 in college, just a regular V6, and it was barely running. And my dad said, you know, I don't feel safe with, you know, my daughter out on the road. He made me turn it in. I bought a Toyota. I know. And on the way out of the Toyota dealership, I rolled my window down. I pointed at my dad. I said, you just watch. I'm going to have one of every Mustang, and I'm going to start with the first generation. So, 20 years later, I bought the Glinda the Good Witch, the 1964 and a half, red convertible, white top, red vinyl seats, total Americana car, right? And then I turned 40 about a year and a half ago, and I said, I want my college car back. And actually, I had some friends searching online for me, and they found this one and said, you know, this one's well priced. You can do it. So we flew up and drove it back to Charlotte.
So what do you guys think? I mean, Carrie is just one of a kind, as is her cars. We should have a whole special episode on Carrie and her cars coming up on the Mustang Owners Podcast. Carrie, could we get you for a whole evening to talk Mustangs with us?
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking some time today. Why don't you go catch Emmeline's talk? Carrie is one of these superstars that we get to meet only on National Mustang Day here at the Mustang Owners Museum in Concord, North Carolina. We'll catch you on the podcast.
Thank y'all so much. Bye.
Intrigued me so much. Then it goes down to my father's department, and they make fiberglass molds. Then it goes through the engineering, a whole range of different departments.
Well, what would National Mustang Day be without Mustangs? I don't know, Mike. I mean, there were so many cars at all these events. Sometimes, yeah, we hang out, we talk to a lot of people. It's fun talking to them, hearing their stories, because that's what we're all about here on the Mustang Owners Podcast is, everyone's got a Mustang story. But sometimes, you just like to take a few minutes out and just walk the show. And I know, Mike, you sometimes get, kind of upset when you say, I didn't even have a chance to walk the show.
We do that more so than often. Now, especially with the podcast, though, we actually do get to do that. When we're actually working and running the show, we never did. So we had to rely on the pictures to see what happened at the show.
Well, so beyond the interviews and beyond, all the wonderful things that happened that day, there's some great photography. So let's take everybody on the podcast through a little bit of some of the sights and the wonderful cars that we saw at National Mustang Day in Charlotte, just to see how it looked on that beautiful sunny day on National Mustang Day 2026. So, Mike, one of my fun photos is to see the first Ford Racing and the second Ford Racing being worn on T-shirts. And, of course, you and I know our good friend Lee Holman as being really the first Ford Racing.
Yep, absolutely. Like I said, yeah, that's kind of a really, really cool picture there. Just, giving you the history, right, of the performance world within Ford.
Yeah, to see people, I love to see people still wear the Holman and Moody T-shirt. I expect people to see the Ford Racing shirt. And Mike, it's still hard for me to see the Ford Racing logo not in the red, white, and blue, not with the italic racing moving R and to see the block letters. It's still hard for me to see the new logo. Maybe I'll get warmed up to it like Cracker Barrel.
Absolutely. That's too funny.
I don't know. Yeah, so Mike, I missed you a lot working the tent alone. I mean, my wife Jenny was great, but I know you would have really walked this crowd because I was surprised. The difference, I think, when you throw your National Mustang Day up here in Dearborn, all the ones we did together, there was just a lot more early first gens in Charlotte, and obviously for good reason.
Yeah.
But to see so many people bring them out on a sunny, 70-degree day, it was just refreshing. I was just burned out with a long winter, and that's why just to see hoods up and a lot of early cars, to me, that's what makes Mustang Day special.
Yeah, and being Charlotte, right? Steve Hall's the one who really pushed this and got National Mustang Day to where it is today. So I think that's paying testament to him down there, right?
Yeah, and I love this. I'm glad people brought the early ones. Of course, I was always drawn to the fastbacks, and when I saw this 67 fastback, it was really close to my tent. You see it, if I see anything in Acapulco blue or Honolulu blue or any of the light blue metallics, to see a big block car, a fastback in perfect condition, with the right wheels. And then, of course, I see a Mustang 2 behind it. I left my post. I was not,
of course,
I was not slinging posters anymore. I had to go see these cars, and they were so close. And the chance that you get to talk to the owners, I think, Mike, that's what really makes it, to see a beautiful blue first-gen fastback, or maybe to see a 2. As you know, Mike, when they moved the museum across from the first initial opening of the museum, it's on a corner. Yeah. And the street filled up so quickly. There's a back lot, Mike. You remember when we first got down there, they had that front lot and they added parking on the side. Then they're on the grass, and now they're next door. I mean, it's an issue for a big show to be at the museum.
Yeah, that spot where they got it, I think they're using it to the fullest extent they can. So I hope people appreciate that. But it's always a packed house, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have to say about being there was every once in a while I'll stop at a car and just say, wow, I haven't seen this. And when I saw this Holman and Moody car, it looks so different. And then the way the stance was, I could tell it was lowered. Yeah. And then to see the graphics on was this the same dark Holman and Moody car that was up in Woodward last summer?
I don't think so. I think that one was lighter, the one that was up in Woodward.
Yeah, they've got the competition proven logo on the side.
It didn't have that, the other one. Not to that one, I don't believe. I think they might have had something different on it.
Well, the cool thing about the museum down there in Charlotte, they're just down the road from Lee Holman's shop.
Right.
So anything that's new and exciting, if they could roll it over there, maybe just drop it off for a few hours. I was really interested in this car to see, the new version of whatever pieces they had on this car. I wasn't able to get the whole download, but we're going to do a whole episode on Holman and Moody's new stuff, Mike. So we'll have to chase these guys down.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, the other thing I wanted to show you, Mike, and I know you would have shown me, was the back part of the museum had its own parking lot. And I didn't know there were cars back there until you could cut through the museum, and then there's a whole another row, and there's a row of new, old, mostly S197s and S550s, but there's a whole back lot that was full. And if I didn't walk through the museum and see the back door open, I might have missed it because it's in a fenced-in area behind the museum. I don't know if this was added when Steve expanded the museum property, but this is much needed.
Yeah, I don't know when they did that, but yeah, it's definitely needed. Like you said, parking was always an issue, so that's going to help alleviate some of it for sure.
Well, so what is a Mustang show without a red Mustang convertible? If you don't get and it's just something about it on Arrest Me Red, a first gen convertible. This one, of course, has the luggage rack on it, got the GT twin pipes, you got the right wheels, black interior. What says National Mustang Day more than this car?
Yeah, that is the absolute true definition sitting right there.
I start laughing when people say, "Oh, John, you always get excited over a red Mustang." Well, isn't that weird that I own one? So, if Marty Maris was around from West Michigan Mustang Club, he would say to us, "Hey, there's a pace car."
Yeah, put it on my trailer. I'm taking it home.
Yeah, he would try to buy the official Kentucky Speedway pace car.
Are you watching, Marty? Here it is.
He may have this, maybe another one. He wants to collect every pace car there is.
Yeah.
But this was a cool car. When Ford Racing was helping out and Jamie Allison was trying to do one-off pace cars for the speedways. I think that was a cool idea, Mike.
Yeah, I miss Jamie. Yeah, that was really, really cool, and those cars got a lot of attraction. That's for sure.
Well, we're going to have to mention certain colors. Now, I don't know what it is about Gotta Have It Green, but we've told the Mike Berardi story so many times.
Yeah.
The reason I think this car was interesting, I didn't know that you could get the green snake headlamps. It's some kind of a reflector in there or something that you got the snake eyes. You put them over the reflector lens on the front end of your Mustang, and those green cars actually have green eyeballs. Have you ever seen those before?
No.
Where do people
But it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, anything for anybody, right? Most modified car in the world. There you go.
Where do they come up with this stuff? So a buddy of ours, Mark Young, he's a regular. I mean, he was with the museum program from day one. Yep. Mark was integral in doing the 50th anniversary down there in Charlotte, and he is still working as helping curate the cars that come in and out of the museum. Of course, he's got his beautiful fastback, that dark blue. He actually let me drive this K-Code car, and I haven't driven too many K-Codes in my life, but Mike, there's something about those early 289s. It's not like a modern Mustang. Those clutches are tough. It's loud. I don't remember being that loud, but knowing Mark Young and his dark blue fastback, I think it wasn't necessarily stock.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. And I really look forward to seeing Mark on upcoming Carlisle this year as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the other thing I did see a lot of, is you'd think everybody's kind of gravitating towards the classics, but there were a lot of Celines there, and there are RTRs. And I think, Mike, the RTRs are starting to really find favor. Young people like to buy them and bring them because you don't see them everywhere. But this show had several RTRs on property.
And well, RTR is right around the corner there as well. So it's right there, right in the backyard of the museum. And yes, RTR's price point is great for especially an entry-level buyer. Even the more pronounced buyers, right? I mean, the bang for the buck that you're getting for RTR pricing right now is really, really good. You got to give them some major props.
Yeah, our podcast crew on YouTube can go back and look up our visit to the RTR studio there. So, of course, one of the things I like to do is I like to meet people that are new to the hobby. Mike, we had that 5-0 Fever contest.
Yep.
And the winner was right out of the Charlotte area. So I got to meet the winner of the 50 Fever this year, and his wife, and also to see his car and to actually interview him. It was really fun to interview him, but I wanted to get a shot in of his car to say, hey, you may have only owned that car for a couple of weeks, but hopefully you'll own it a long time.
Yeah. Just like Dennis, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I found interesting was that, the Ford Racing school, the driving school at Charlotte, got sold off to a private entity called Wheelhouse.
Correct.
And this is right in their wheelhouse. So they brought a tent out, and they brought a couple cars. And Mike, they were talking to everybody about they wanted the transition to be seamless. That if you were at the Ford Racing School, the driving school years ago, it's a seamless transition. We had a podcast episode from up there at the racing school, if you recall.
Yep.
And it's still in the same place. The leadership is there, and they just wanted to deliver the same experience of getting a new Mustang out on the track. So I was really surprised to see them there, and I'm glad they participated.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that they're interested, right, with all the people there. And like you said, that's the choir, right? So
yeah,
I'm glad they were there as well.
So it was kind of relaxing. Some people would sit under the trees that line on either side of the museum and just look out, and a view that you could see was just people standing around talking about their cars, hoods up, all the different colors of Mustangs that parked in the parking lot, a lot of lot traffic. And Mike, I like that better than just everybody parking in their little seat behind their car and not seeing anybody walking.
Yeah, and what a cool venue, right, John? I mean, so they're there, they're parked, they can talk to everybody, show off their cars, show off the engines, and then walk through the museum and get a ton of history right there that you get to enjoy right in the same spot. Another RTR.
Yeah, we had to get the shot of in front of the museum. You're right. So for your entry into National Mustang Day down there, not only did you get into the car show, and that RTR is parked out right in front of the door, but you were given full access to a full museum tour. People walked into the library. They were able to buy merch. So yeah, you got full access for the whole day in case you've covered the cars and you want to see more. That's a great thing to have a museum right there.
Yeah, and the stuff that's inside there, being you've been through it many times, and it is just absolutely incredible. Mischelle does a great job in upkeeping that museum.
Yeah, so I didn't want to not have in my collection a photo of that 67 Fastback with that. It just, for some reason, Mike, the paint on a sunny day, those light metallic blues from the early 60s Mustangs, they just dance off those cars. And if you've got good paint on a first gen, especially on a Fastback, a light blue, I'm a sucker for that. So I had to have that photo. It's going in my collection. That's the way it's going to go. Hope you don't mind.
67 through 70 will always be my favorite run.
There you go. Well, then I had to talk to an MCA judge, and when I saw another Mustang 2 convertible, and know how few of those Mustang 2 convertibles are. Of course, our good friend Robert Kennedy has got an orange one. And when I saw this there and got the whole story of how a guy just fell in love with this car, found it in a swamp, and somehow found a place in North Carolina that does a rotisserie restoration, not just on a Mustang 2, but on a super rare convertible. I swear to God, Mike, the convertible top on that car looked better than it was installed when I first saw those cars in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's 77. I don't think they made them that good.
Good. I'm glad they're taking care of it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's how good of a restoration he did on that car. I know it was a wreck, but when you find someone that can restore the car better than Ford or even the coach maker had done it, you found the right guy. Although I heard he had big numbers in that car.
Yeah.
Well, then every once in a while you'll see a pretty in pink Mustang. We had a 67 coupe. It's that really light pink, and I heard they had a small run of these cars. You don't see them too often. Everybody remembers the Playboy pinks and
Hoss Collins. Remember Hoss had one.
Collins. Horace Collins. He made those Playboy pink cars famous in the MCA. Then Mike, he dropped out of the MCA and spent some time with his family. But I heard not that he was bored with his family, but he got back into the hobby. I think he might have got another car, and now he's back in at car shows. So
Hoss is a great guy, and he's the one that introduced me personally to the Duncan brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how I met the Duncan brothers, was through Hoss. Hoss is a great guy, and worked with him many years on the MCA summits and things like that. So what a great guy, and a huge asset to the hobby.
Well, you guys and your clings, Mike, I've been around so many window clings. with the Mustang Memories show.
Yeah.
But when and I'm at fault, we've done what 9 or 10 of these Mustang 2 reunions, and I've got 10 clings on my Mustang 2. But when I saw this car with all the National Mustang Day clings, and of course it had a Ford Performance windshield banner, and I saw all the clings, I go, God, this guy's pretty much been to every one of them.
Yeah.
And I, after a while, folks, I just want to warn you, you have to be able to look out your front windshield, even if it's a little spot. You can't completely cover the windshield.
Yeah, the police going to give a too many clings ticket.
Now, Mike, I wanted to show you this photo of John Clore working the Mustang tent when you get a free poster.
Oh, look at that.
Because behind my shoulder, you may have noticed there's a sign about there's something that John Clore does with some guy that wasn't there. Some guy named Mike Ray. And your picture was there right behind me. John Clore, Mike Ray, the Mustang Owners Podcast. So even though you weren't there physically, you were there in spirit because I had you. And everybody that came up to me, it's so rewarding to hear people enjoy listening to the podcast and the wide variety of things that we cover,
Yeah, it really is. It makes it all worth it.
Now, I used the John Clore sign when I had my chance to get up and talk to everyone in the tent.
I don't see mine there. That's too much Clore, not enough Ray.
So Emmeline got to get up and speak, Bud, Magaldi, everyone had their chance, but they got me under and a lot of unfortunately, Mike, as it is when I'm with you, most people who see us, if we're doing a live podcast or at a show and we have a Q&A session, like we had at Carlisle, the Q&A sessions last longer than the presentation.
Yeah, they do.
And then what do you say? You say the first thing is, the only thing we can't talk about is future product. What's the first question, Mike?
Always future product.
Are they going to make a Boss 429?
Little Wisconsin, remember, I think the first 2 or 3 questions were all future product after we just blatantly said, don't ask that.
Right. So the Hall of Fame ceremonies, everybody in the Hall of Fame had a chance to find a car and pick an award. Of course, the first one there was Brad Bowling, and you remember Brad Bowling.
Oh, yeah.
He was a superstar in the Bullitt saga.
Yeah.
His family relationship with Sean Kiernan's family is legendary.
Yeah.
And so not only did Brad Bowling do a great speech the night before at the banquet, he was able to give away an award at the car show, which good to see Brad up there. And again, great storyteller. Of course, you had Emmeline King. Emmeline was also at the show. She was at the award ceremony watching Bud get inducted into the Hall of Fame, Bud Magaldi, but she gave away a prize card. She also had a presentation and did a book sale at the show, Mike. So Emmeline she's just bubbly, and her engagement level is so high. She's a high energy. What an ambassador for the Mustang brand.
Yes. Yeah, she's been
of course,
great.
Our buddy, Bud Magaldi, lifetime Moxham member. He picked a young lady who she was there because she said her car turned 30, and her they just put a timing chain, I think, in a Cobra, and with her and her boyfriend, and he picked out, of course, had to be a Cobra.
Yeah.
Bud Magaldi was great. He had a great acceptance speech, and it was great to see him at the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, very well deserving of that honor.
Of course, every year, I don't know how they do it, but the museum gives away a car, and most of the time the winners aren't there because you buy raffle tickets. This year, the winners were there and were stunned that they won this beautiful Shelby GT500, a red Shelby with the white stripes. Mike, I love the red Shelby with white stripes, but they were actually there, and they had to figure out how to get their other car home.
Nice. Well, there's 2 of them there.
but I guess you got to get plates and drive it legally. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that the museum has a giveaway car every year, and what a show they put on. I mean, how much fun is that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
I got to tell you, I did miss you, but we're going to have so many more shows to do. I want everybody to stay tuned for all the stuff you and I are going to come across both this year and in the times to come. We've got our new format show on the horizon. We got some exclusive drives coming up. Mike, National Mustang Day was just the kickoff, but this is going to be a really exciting year. Carlisle is going to be really interesting with our 7 Gen stories. We don't want anybody to miss anything when it comes to the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. May and June coming up. It's going to be really, really packed for us with a few events. I know we had 3 for May or so, and then June's right around the corner, and it always kicks off with Carlisle, which is our biggest event usually of the year. And we're gonna do that special 7 generation show at Carlisle.
Yeah, so we're just thanking everybody again for watching the podcast, especially getting us past our 1,000 subs. And Mike, after we hit 1,001,
10,000 next. Let's go, guys.
Mike's now is going to push for. I was hoping for 2, but Mike's going for 10.
No, go big or go home.
Yeah, there's
Tell
no
all your
reason.
friends, neighbors, coworkers, everybody.
Yeah, there's no reason why, if you like Mustang content and you like to see stories and cars and photos and you like to be part of the hobby, that you can't just like and subscribe. Make sure you throw a comment in there. We read all of the comments, and wait till you see our new show format. There's a lot coming up. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed this little view of the National Mustang Day 2026 at the Mustang Owners Museum there in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're going to have much, much, much more coming for you this summer. So hang in there. Mike, it can't be more fun than the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let's get out there and get some more coverage.
You got it. So I hope you hit that like and subscribe. Until next time, folks, we'll just have to catch you guys down the road.